Vaibhav. In today's session of Visual JForex, I will make you familiar with the indicator named Bear Power. This is an indicator based on the EMA and the price action. Here, we use this indicator as a momentum gauge. We see whether the bear power is exceeding or not. Bear power here means if the instrument is under downward selling pressure or not. We are mostly concerned with the bearish trend here, as the name suggests. This is a bear power indicator. In coming sessions, we will also talk about the bull power indicator, and at that point in time, we will think about the bullish setup. Now, for today's setup, we are mostly looking into how to find the bearish setup for profitable trading opportunities. As you can see in the short description, the value below zero is considered as indicative of the fact that bears are in control. Bears are strong, and if the value is above zero, that means bears are weak. And this indicator is, as I said, mostly based on two factors: how the EMA, the average price, is moving, and how the current day's low price is in relation with the average price. So we here take the difference between these data point, and comparing them, we find the strength of the bearish pull. Now let us go to the Visual JForex platform. This is developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA, using which we can develop our own profitable algorithmic setup. This is an indicator block of the bear power. Here you have the info for these indicators, technical details. Start point for today's session, we keep on candle. Coming to the input parameters, here we have to define these input parameters as per our requirement of finding the profitable trade setup. And to define these input parameters appropriately, we of course have to observe the chart patterns and see what is the best setup which can be devised using these bear power indicators. To see how it works, we will add this bear power indicator on the chart. So here it comes, bear power. Now, as I said, the indicator is mostly concerned with the difference between the average price and the last closing price. Whenever we see this difference rising, we have these indicators values declining, and the value is farther from zero, the more bears are considered to be in control. And if the value is above zero, that means bears are not in control. So depending on how the value is behaving, we try to find the trade opportunities here. And as you can see, we are mostly dealing with the sell trades. And now coming to the charts, we have the opportunities emerging, and we are not really going to look into the output values when the value is above zero. So I think one setup which can be devised using this indicator is to see when the momentum turns from not so bearish to strongly bearish, when the value jumps below zero from being above zero. That also can be considered as a fact that bears are now overpowering and going to look for further move on the downside. And in such a scenario, we can look for fresh short selling opportunities, fresh trading opportunities to go short on the underlying instrument. So this is the Euro USD chart on the hourly time frame. If you want to work with a different time frame, we can do that. And almost all the time frames starting from 10 seconds to 1 month are supported on the Visual JForex board. So we can devise the setup as per our trade time horizon. Now here we have these indicator values below zero. That means during this time frame the bearish trend was strong, and if we were to go into the short selling opportunities during this time, we would have most probably profited from this continued bearish turn in the euro USD. And then when the momentum was on the bullish side, we have this value above zero. Now going back to the Visual JForex board, here we have to define these instrument, and then the time period, the look back period, and the time period for calculation. This is the default value which can be changed if we want to do so. The underlying instrument is Euro USD. For the change in today's session, we will work with a different instrument. Let's go for NZD USD. Any instrument you want to use, and if it is supported on the Visual JForex platform, then you can use this indicator to devise the algorithm for that particular instrument. Time period, let us change this for 15 minutes. So in today's session, we will work with the NZD USD setup of 15 minutes each. Here we have this bearish. So here we got the NZD USD chart plotted on the 15-minute time frame, and as and when we see that underlying instrument is entering into a strong bear phase, we have this value dipping below zero, and when the price action takes a bullish turn, we see this value jumping above zero. That is indicative of the fact that it's time to stay away, stay on the sidelines. So that's how we can use these indicators. Now, coming to this time period, here we can change it. If we want to use the longer time frame, we can simply edit this to say 50. Then the 50 candlesticks time period will be taken into consideration for calculation of this bear power indicator. And now, if we see this, here you can observe that for more time the output values are remaining above zero, and that means in the longer time frame the trajectory of these bear power indicators is on the weaker side. That means we should have mostly stayed away from going for short sale trades, as there is not much of an bearish tendency in the underlying instrument. So we can use these indicators either on its own or in conjunction with other technical indicators, and with the help of this setup we will be able to figure out the opportunities to go for a short sale in the instrument of our choice. So here the time period will be changed to 50. Now coming to the look back period is the time for which we want the output value. If we want the output value of the current candlestick, then we have to keep the shift 0. If we want to go back in time, and by how many candlesticks periods we want to go back in time, we have to put that number in the shift block, and we will have that output value taken into consideration. If we put shift at 5, then the output value will be taken, which was 1 and 15 minutes back in time. So here we will have the output value back in time. So we can also see if during the certain point in time in the prior hour, whether the underlying instrument was in bullish tendency or was in bearish tendency, and we can define this indicator block accordingly to get the appropriate output value for further consideration. Then we can use this output value for either doing the comparison between various bear power output values, or we can even use this output value to carry out further calculation and define other conditions. The offer side can be bid or ask. There will be slight difference because there is a spread between the bid and ask. The applied price can be chosen anything: closing price, open price, high price, low price, median price, typical price, weighted close price. So we have these parameters supported on the Visual JForex platform. Unfortunately, we can't change the applied price here. So we have more options when we are trading with the automated setup compared to the options we have when we are trading with the manual setup. And that is also one of the reason why it's always better. Not always, but mostly it is better to trade with a algorithmic automated setup, as it will be more objective and it will also be, of course, psychologically stable and disciplined. And that's why we are trying to learn how to use the Visual JForex platform to build a automated setup in a profitable manner, in a profitable trading environment. So that's it from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write it in the comment section and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Have a fabulous day ahead. Goodbye.